Welcome to DevOps mock interview, part 3. If you're interested in taking mock interview, prepare for DevOps job. If you have taken a DevOps training, but you're not able to clear some interviews, you want to prepare for these interviews with me, then you can email me at awslearning1992@gmail.com and we can set up mock interviews for you. And you can also speak to me before that. If you have any questions, reach me out at the email ID that you see on the screen. Let's start this session, the third session that I have planned. And the first question for this session is from GitHub. What is the GitHub approval process followed in your organization? Question again, I'm going to repeat it. What is the GitHub approval process followed in your organization? So where is this question coming from? Let's try to understand this. Usually, GitHub is considered to be a common technology that every engineer should know. They won't directly ask you anything on GitHub unless and until it's required. But they might be interested to know how your workflow in your company looks like. So if you're working in a team and if you want to make a change, you will not make a change directly logging into a server. That's a very bad practice. It means there is a certain structure or a flow that has been set up in your organization, which requires some code change and it involves some Git. So in this question, they want to really understand, are you really working in a company that has this process set up? Because anyone working in an organization will come across this GitHub approval process. So what is this process? Let us try to understand this. The first process is you prepare a PR. Now, how do you prepare a pull request? I will not go into that details as of now, but it's a very fundamental thing. You clone it, you create a branch, make your commit and PR. So that is how you create a PR. But what happens when you create a PR? Once you create a PR, PR stands for pull request, an automated test will run on the changes you have made. Let us say you made some changes in Terraform for a machine change or something. It's going to run Terraform format, Terraform apply. I'm sorry, not run Terraform apply, Terraform format, Terraform plan, and it's going to see if your code is proper. This is the test code. Once test code has been passed, meaning the tests have been passed. That is, your infrastructure looks good or your Java code looks good, doesn't matter which code, it looks good. Once the test has been passed, it might send an email automatically to your senior engineer. Or you might it might send a message to Slack saying there is a pull request for approval, kindly please review it. So if you're working in an organization that involves a hierarchy, you will ask a review from your senior engineer or your colleague for that matter. Now they're going to review it and they're going to share some comments, if any, and they're going to ask you for some changes, if any. And in the end, they will make sure that you get what we call as +1. So +1 means they have approved the changes. So they will approve it or give +1, and only after +1 you can merge it. So this is the process followed in most of the organization, and you can use the same answer in the company also. Okay. So that's the approval process that you can mention. You can fine tweak this answer further. The next thing is the question is coming from HashiCorp. What is the secret engine used in your organization and how does it help? So what is the secret engine used in your organization and how does it help? So what is the secret engine? Let's come there. I will give you a simple example. You might have used Terraform to create an EC2 instance, which is totally fine. But once you start going to other services like databases, where will you store the password that gets generated, right? Databases have password. Where will you keep it? Similar way, in your CI/CD process, You have to store passwords. You might have not done it as a part of the training, but in real world, passwords are very common. Secrets are very common. Now, you cannot store them in plain text format in your GitHub repository because that's basically a password leak if you store it in GitHub repository. So what is the answer here? The answer over here is HashiCorp Vault. Or, for example, you can also use KMS in AWS. Now, HashiCorp Vault is very famous and many of the companies have it today. This HashiCorp Vault is used to store sensitive data related to your project. Now you can retrieve the sensitive data as part of your code. You can mention, for example, you can mention in Terraform that vault.xyz. It's going to interact with the Vault server. It's going to get it. Now to interact with the Vault server itself, you might need some authentication, but that can be handled by your IAM role. So you don't need another authentication. But HashiCorp Vault is a very famous solution that is present to manage secrets. So if this question is asked in the interview, you can say that in our company, we are using HashiCorp Vault where all the passwords are stored. This is maintained by our security team. You can mention like that because usually this is a different setup. You might not be maintaining it. And if you're unaware of this, you can just say it is maintained by some other team. So it is totally fine. Now, if Vault is not an option, you can say we use default AWS KMS setup, which will also suffice in most cases. So these are the two questions for this session. I hope it was insightful. Again, if you like this video, please click on like button. It's going to motivate me to publish more videos. If you also want to take a mock interview session with me, you can see the email ID in the bottom, also in the description section. Go there, email me, and then I'll share some details with you. You can also speak with me personally, share your thoughts about what you want to plan, and I can assist you further. Thanks for the session. Speak to you in the next mock interview video.